Hey everybody, how you all doing? Welcome back to another episode of Action Sunday. Of course, a little bit of change of location, just temporarily for now until things gets up in the office. I'm down in the cat den. Of course, my cats are hanging out nearby. They're just over there. But anyway, let's get down to business. Again, I want to apologize for not doing Death Wish 4 last week, so I've decided to do it this week. Might as well get this done and wrapped up. Unfortunately, folks, due to circumstances beyond my control, for some reason, I will not be reviewing Death Wish 5 because, again, I have no idea what happened. I had it queued up, or I had it, and somehow I had it ready. I thought it was going to be queued on Tubi or Freevee. Then all of a sudden, it just disappeared into the ether. I am really hating this when people put on a movie, I have it ready, and then it just disappears. But then again, why don't they tell me, hey, that this movie's going to be taken off? Again, I usually get notifications, but this one just, I feel like someone fucked up. Again, don't want to get too much details or anything like that, but unfortunately, I cannot find Death Wish 5 anywhere. Not even my local cable on-demand station. Can't. Nothing. Nada. It's like it doesn't exist. Which, of course, kind of saves me because I heard Death Wish 5 holds a 0% rating on Rotten Tomatoes and is considered the worst of the whole Death Wish franchise. If you guys... well, let's see. Again, I didn't expect it to be a franchise. I would kind of expect it to just be, okay, just be one classic, which I remember. So, then we have all these sequels. So, let's see how they turn out. So, now here we are. This is Death Wish 4, The Crackdown. I love how they start adding subtitles to this. You know, like, Death Wish 2, Death Wish 3. Now you got Death Wish 4, The Crackdown. It's like, okay, I think they just wanted to put that in there to give it some oomph and put it over the top to make people want to come to the theaters. Well, I'm going to say this right now. Not as good as 3, but I feel like this is, it's something. But anyway, so where we go from here? So let's recap. So first Death Wish, we all know what happens. He's a New York architect. His wife gets killed. His daughter gets raped. You get what happened there. So the sequel, somehow everything's been moved to L.A. His daughter's out of this mental asylum. His son-in-law has been mysteriously disappeared. I have no idea what the hell happened. Then his daughter gets killed by a gang. Well, like I said, she said she dies in the most interesting way. It's not on the gang's fault. She kind of does it to herself. But that's beside the point. Then, of course, Death Wish 3. He's back in New York, helping a friend out after he's beaten to death. And we all know what happens there. I said it was more action packed. But now, what happens with the fourth one? Well, we're back in L.A. As I was told, the reason why this one's back in L.A. is because, hey, make it easy on Charles Bronson to film the movie. So, yeah, I like that. I feel like it's a good way to do it. I apologize for the shaky cam. Sorry for sitting on my lap. He's a good boy. But anyway, so, yeah, I never understood that. Like, okay, just pick a good location, just stick with it. Okay, okay. So, what's the impetus for Paul Kersey now? Is he still the vigilante? Well, let's put pin that at first. So at this point, the movie opens up. We find out that he's in a relationship with this girl, this woman played by Kay Lenz. She has a daughter from a previous marriage, and of course, she's played by Dana Barron of all people from National Lampoon's Vacation. Yeah, but you guys didn't expect to see that. Again, I'm going to get into casting in a moment, but so somehow she dies under mysterious circumstances. Turns out she ODs, and then of course Kersey decides to become the vigilante, kind of. But then all of a sudden he's recruited by this mysterious guy to take down these rival drug cartels that are bringing drugs into the city. So then it goes off onto a crazy thing. So essentially becomes like a gun for hire. So I'm like, okay, that's interesting. So, and I can't find it funny. It's like, okay, Kersey is now a gun for hire, but he feels more like a James Bond kind of guy because he comes up with some innovative ways to go after his targets. He plants a bomb in a wine bottle. I thought that was incredible. I was like, that's James Bond level shit. there. I mean, it's clever. I mean, hey, what can you do? Then there's a crazy moment where he takes out one of the cartel's best hitmen in a high-rise building, and by fighting in his suite, and he pushes him out the window. I'm like, holy shit! I'm like almost like Hans Gruber style, which is kind of funny considering Die Hard would come out a year after this movie. So kind of funny there. But yeah, outside of that, it's all right. I'm like, I kind of like the premise, but it gets a little screwy in the final act where everything just comes around and you finally see who the real villain is. And I don't want to give much away, but I feel like the last act kind of like, I feel it kind of hits most of the 80s, action 80s trope cliches or action movie tropes that I've seen done before. But then, of course, they do it in like a Death Wish style way, which is like, okay, now it does set up for a fifth movie, like where you go from here kind of thing. But again, I just didn't expect it to go the way it was. But I don't know, like there's a lot of choppiness throughout this thing. But I feel like the first part of the movie is well paced, but then after a while things start to go off rails. But you can definitely tell the Charles Bronson's character's starting to get exhausted by this point. I mean he is like what 60-something years old. So fun fact: by the time the fifth movie drops, he is pushing 73 years old. That's something to take into context. But here, I feel like he's still on top of his game despite his age. But again, age is just a number, as people say. But man, Charles Bronson still brings the heat. Rest of that cast, Dana, like I said, mentioned, Dana Barron, Kay Lenz is pretty cool, was pretty neat. I did not expect to see. Here's another unexpected cameo. Okay, let's see. First movie, you had a young Jeff Goldblum. The second one, you had a young Lawrence Fishburne. The third, you had Alex Winter. The fourth one, Danny frickin' Trejo. Yes, I did not expect to see that. Frickin' Machete and the Vigilante. Holy crap! I did not expect to see that. It's like you would never have noticed him. But of course, his character is only in the movie for literally like 2 or 3 minutes, and then he's just killed off. But of course, spoilers. He's killed by the bomb in the wine bottle. So yeah, I don't want to tell you how that scene unfolds, but you gotta see it to believe it. I'm like, again, real James Bond level kind of stuff. But yeah, not much else I can say. To me, I feel like it's definitely the weaker one. It feels exhausted to see some of the tropes. Like I said, hits all the 80s stuff, but I don't think it's gonna hold a candle to the other ones. But again, like the first Death Wish movie to me is a masterpiece. Second one was an okay one. Third one had the most action, but then again, they were trying to make it and trying to bring some more adrenaline junkie action to the whole franchise. That one, again, I kind of like that, but at the same time, not as good as the first. But this one, I'm gonna say, is probably bottom of the barrel, probably almost just as bad as the infamous fifth one, which again, like I mentioned, can't find it. But yeah, I don't think, but yeah, it's definitely the weakest. I understand they were trying to keep dragging it out, but you can tell, like, I think Bronson just wanted to put this role to bed, kind of thing. So unfortunately, with that in mind, I'm going to give Death Wish 4 maybe a 4.5. So yeah, pun not intended. That's not my intention. Again, like I kind of expect to be better. It's a little bit below average, but again, you can definitely feel the dip in the story quality as the movie goes on. But that's just my observation, okay? If you guys want to see this movie, if you can find it, give it a watch. And of course, like I mentioned, if you want to see a fifth one, do so at your own discretion. Again, 0% Rotten Tomatoes. I'm not going to bother with it, but if I do find it, maybe I will get to it, all right? So that does for this week. On this video, subscribe to my channel and stay tuned for some more awesome and exciting content.